The honourable member from Companoka, followed by Calgary-Hawkwood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a few years ago, AHS ranked the refurbishment and the replacement of long-term care facilities as their top infrastructure need. They even calculated they would need $140 million for new capacity and $1 billion to replace old facilities. In the latest AHS priority list, long-term care has mysteriously dropped to 7th place. But last week, the Health Minister and the Seniors Minister said that long-term care is their top priority. So why is it that AHS and this government can never agree on what matters?
The Honourable Minister Seniors.
Mr. Speaker, I think the Premier has got us squarely agreeing on what matters here, and that's the seniors of this province and providing for them and their families. So, Mr. Speaker, we've made some fantastic announcements here recently, and maybe the member has noticed that the Minister of Health and the Premier announced opening up about 750 beds in continuing care, including long-term care beds. We've announced 1,500 ASLE beds are going to be opened up. 300 of those, at least 300 of those, are long-term care beds. So, Mr. Speaker, all those put together is a significant investment and will help us create great space going forward.
Thank you. For supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Announcing is not opening. Mr. Speaker, during the last election, Whitecourt was promised a new hospital. AHS has not assigned a priority ranking to it, except to say that it might come in the next 2 to 5 years. Given that Beaver Lodge has also been assigned the same ranking to replace its much older hospital, and given that the town of Beaver Lodge has even selected a site and invested in site services for the new facility, who will the minister choose? Does the Chief Government Whip or the Transportation Minister have more clout with this government?
The Honourable Minister of Infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I've said before, Alberta is a very robust province, a growing population, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, we're spending $19.2 billion in our current capital plan, Mr. Speaker. This is a very significant investment. Of that, Mr. Speaker, over $2 billion are going to health projects specifically. We have major projects going on in places like Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, Mr. Speaker. We have projects going on in Grand Prairie and Edson and High Prairie, Mr. Speaker, because that's what the public of Alberta deserves.
Final supplemental.
And yet they'd rather play politics than put out a prioritized list. Mr. Speaker, given that AHS ranks the new Whitecourt Hospital at the same level as the Northern Lights Regional Health Centre redevelopment project in Fort McMurray, will the minister please tell us which of these projects is more important, the one for the Minister of Innovation and Advanced Education's riding, or the one for the Chief Government Whip's riding?
Honourable Minister of Infrastructure.
Mr. Speaker, our Premier has been very clear. In Alberta, there's one type of Albertan, there's one class of Albertan, Mr. Speaker. We do not pit people against one another, Mr. Speaker. Urban, rural, Mr. Speaker. North, south, Mr. Speaker. East, west, Mr. Speaker. Young, old, Mr. Speaker. We are making the investments for all Albertans, Mr. Speaker. Schools and hospitals and seniors' homes. We're doing what the people of Alberta deserve, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.